Okay, hi there, I'm Bill, and yeah, let's do a book review. Like, we read this book, Stephen King, The Dark Half, for our English course. Like, finished this just yesterday, so, well, might as well do a book review on that. And the course is on American anti-realist fiction in the 20th century, so we're going through different genres like science fiction, not sci-fi, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and so on. So yeah, we read this, Stephen King, The Dark Half, and well, it's about a writer who has this alter ego, pen name, who writes much more violent books, well, more successful books too, and well, this alter ego comes alive after the writer has like buried him publicly, so to speak. So then the writer comes alive and starts killing people and so on. So yeah, that's basically the story. And well, I did like the writing. It was like easy to read, and it was interesting. Like, at least for me, it got me involved in the story and the characters. So in that way, I thought it was very well written. And well, there you can see there's a tendency that tendency for violence. I don't know if this is with King's other books or not, but you can see this kind of like not just the main characters, but when he's describing other characters and places, and you have these like little incidents of violence that are happening here and there. So that was kind of like weird. There's so much violence going on. And well, the plot, well, the ending was really predictable. Like, I knew it was going there, and I was expecting that, okay, well, it's going there, but maybe the ending will be like something that has real suspense and struggle, and like that is very well written. Like, the book was well written, and the like build up to the end, that I liked it, that it was well structured, and it was interesting and so on. So I was expecting that the ending would be like even better than that, but it was just predictable and pretty like well, not as not as interesting or surprising as you would have wanted, or I would have wanted it to be. So that was kind of dull. And also the plot, well, this is a horror book, and well, it has these supernatural elements, but it just felt like very weird that it like how this alter ego, this dark half, comes to being. It just like, okay, he has been buried like uh, like as a media stunt, and then this live person just comes out like later, and they don't really explain that. Like, it's yeah, it's totally supernatural. That, okay, wow, bam, there is this other alter ego in flesh. Like, there is connection to this writer. Like, he has had a surgery, like he would had a twin brother, but it didn't turn out so well. But yeah, it's like pure fantasy that you can't explain. That's how this other person comes into being, and it's not explained in the book. Like, and we talked about this during the class, and well, yeah, it's not realist fiction, it's horror, it's fantasy in that sense. So if you like suspend the part of your brain which is always like looking for the logical connection, looking for the realism, if you suspend that, then it's kind of an interesting depiction of, well, basically every one of us has like different sides of our personality, and the question is that how much we're like letting out. Like the culture is like imposing certain restrictions on us, and we are imposing those kinds of restrictions on ourselves. And the question is that how much do you really want to restrict? What do you want to put out or let out? Like what is good or what is not? So in that sense, it's an interesting story that these kind of different personalities, the other repressed half, well, you could see that it's so repressed, the other half, that it comes like as a backlash, and the backlash is so strong that it actually manifests as a physical being. Like, okay, this is fantasy, but if you think it as a like a metaphor, or this kind of not taking it literally, then you can see it's a pretty interesting like story. That yeah, if you repress something, then it will just come back stronger, and then you have to deal with it. That and in this case, it's really a struggle of which personality will live in the end. Like it has gotten to the point that they really can't coexist. That it's only the other will live on. So yeah, that is pretty interesting. So yeah, if you think about it, like as a writer or as a creative person, like where do you put like the limitations? What do you let out? What do you repress? Is it good to repress anything? Or because like people have these creative urges, like there are all kinds of stuff coming out in your mind. So is it good to repress anything? Like where do you draw the line? Like I'd say that the line you draw is like not hurting others, like intentionally, like being malicious. But is that enough? Is that enough? That okay, I'm not being malicious, I'm not trying to hurt anyone. So, but everything else that comes out, just let it come out. Just write whatever comes out. Just sing whatever comes out. Make videos, talk. So, yeah, it's a very interesting question. So in that sense, I'd say that this, well, the book poses an interesting question, though I did take it quite literally, the story. Well, I can't help it, like trying to wonder out that where does this person come out? But if you don't take it as literally, then it works out much better. So, yeah. So I'd give this something like 3 or 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, it was well written, like it was easy to follow, good story, just a bit predictable, and this fantasy element might bother you, but yeah, I'm like, it was nice to read it. So yeah, sure, I can recommend this. Just don't expect it to be super realistic. But other than that, it's an okay read. So 3 out of 3.5 out of 5. So yeah. So okay, that's that. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below, and have a nice day and see ya.